Hey, good morning. I want to talk to you about another visual schedule that I've made for a student that is nonverbal. And this student really responds to having things that he has to do and then being able to move them to finished. So what we've done with his schedule is I've laminated 3 pieces of cardstock, and here you'll see that the student has things to do, and so these are all the items the teacher has said that student will need to do. They happen to have times on them as well, but you can either have times or not have times. For this student, this worked well. And so what the student will do is once they do one of the tasks, they just move them over. And you can have the student do this. This is something they can be really successful at, so it kind of builds confidence for them. Or you could be in charge of it, whatever seems to work best for that student. Then they're going to have their large group. They're going to move that over. And as they're going about their day, they're just going to be moving those things over. If you get to a task that the student is kind of having a hard time with, like maybe they have to go to these rotations and for some reason they just don't want to do that, what I would do at this point then, I would just use a first then board. And I've got that on here as well, so it's really convenient. So I would just take the task that they kind of are having a hard time wanting to do. I would put it over here. Okay, so first we need to do these centers, okay? So let's do our centers first, and then they can work for something. So I have that on here as well, again, just to try to keep it simple for the teacher and everything's in one place. So this is what the student's going to be working for. They have to do that center. They have to do that. But they can earn something. So maybe the student really, really loves books, and he just wants to sit there and finish the book that he had. So what we can do, we can tell him, okay, you want your book, let's do your center, and then you can have your book, okay? So let's go to our center, and then we'll get your book. And then while that student's in that center, I would then take their schedule, I put it right here, and say, okay, we're gonna work for our book. So the whole time that student is in the center, they're earning that book. So, they're in the center for the first few minutes. You can do this 2 ways. I have an expo marker, which is pretty easy to do. Just keep it in your pocket all the time. Oh, great job. I like the way you went to your center. And then they're there for a few minutes. Oh, you're doing such a good job. Look how you completed that task in your center. And you wrote your name on your paper. And you would just keep doing that. An alternative to the expo marker would be tokens. So you would have Velcro here, and then you would put that over that Velcro and just stick it. And you would just have like a stash of these in your pocket or however you want to keep them. Then eventually that student, make sure they don't earn that last star until like the last minute or 2 of that rotation in the center. And then let them have their book. And then I would take a little timer. I'd let them sit there with that book for maybe 2-3 minutes. And then they're ready to transition to the next thing. So they've earned their book. Good job. Good job. Your center is finished. Now you can have your book. All right, let's set our timer. So then I will set their timer. Okay. At this point, you might want to, so I'm going to put book back over here. At this point, you might want to go ahead, move this over, let them know, good job, you finished it. That's done now, and they're on their book. But just to prepare them, that next activity, I also recommend doing a preferential activity after a non-preferential activity. So that will help them transition. If they earned a book, which obviously is something they enjoy, you want to be able to get them off of that earned item to the next task. And if it's something they prefer, it's going to be a lot easier. So if you can work that in your schedule, that's going to be really helpful. So just to give you another view of it, they've got their task, they've got their done side. On this side, I've got where they're earning their items. This is where their first bin board is, and then it just it folds up, and you just carry it around. If you've got to turn it around and keep this in the center with them every time they rotate. First, you're going to do this, and then next you can have this. Or if snack is next, maybe they don't need to transition. You can just put snack there because that's the natural thing. Or you can just hang it up and just keep it stationary. This is just nice because it's portable. Sometimes if a student has a transition problem in the classroom, they're probably going to have difficulty transitioning when they're out of the classroom. So you can take this with you and help them kind of visualize what's next, what they need to do. So I hope you could find this helpful. Thank you.